Hello, today I'm delighted to be joined by my guest Matt Gilpin from Sprift. How you doing?
Very well, David. Yourself?
Yeah, really well, thank you. Really well. Can I just say, I'm a big fan of the reports. I am a self-confessed Sprift addict. Been on board pretty much since the beginning. Never really given up. I think what I always loved about the reports was the look on a prospective client's face when you showed them that report. So back in the old days when we only could print them out, we printed them
Yeah,
out,
yeah, yeah.
we took them on our sort of market appraisals and so on, and showing them that little sort of plan of their house with the line drawn around it always brought a smile to somebody's face. And I think there's a lot of value and utility in the report. So it's not just a leave behind. It's not
Yeah,
just bits
yeah.
of paper that clutter up somebody's living room. I think actually there's some real tangible uses to them. And I'm pleased to say, in its new iteration, it seems like it's able to do more and more and more. So I'm going to stop talking and hand over to you so that you can tell us what we can expect.
Firstly, very kind of you to say that about our reports. And yeah, and it's it's very interesting looking at the usage and I suppose the usage stats. So which agents will use the PDF, as you say, we'll print them out. It's the coffee table leave behind. I firmly believe, or I'm firmly told on a regular basis that because it's a report on that person's house and not just oh here's stuff about me, Mr. Agent, or some generic or property industry, I suppose trends and insights, because it's actually about the property that it's a coffee table leave behind, but it's also it's retained. And if you're leaving something in somebody's front room, all white labeled as your business with information about that person's house, then yeah, it's likely to stick around and hopefully keep the agent front of mind. But then our interactive reports, which are about I think about 6, 7 years old, and they're the ones that we've given a new lease of life to, certainly, and brought a lot more functionality into. It's also interesting to see how they're used and which agents like the PDFs, which like to use the interactive, and certainly and ultimately, which agents use both. So yes, no, it's yeah. So thank you for that, and it's good to see how they both have their place.
Yeah, no, they absolutely do. And I think just speaking for agents a little bit, I think the reason that we tend to sort of have not given up on the paper versions is it's still nice to carry something in with
Yeah.
you. We all need that piece of armor when we're going into
Mm.
somebody's living room, but also some people do like to see it traditionally, but I think the best thing about the interactive side of the reports, and this isn't a new thing, you've been doing this for a while, but the in its sort of first forms was that it's trackable.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
can tell when somebody's actioned something when they've seen it, and you've got it's not just sending something out into the ether and sort of hoping and praying
Mm.
that it's going to make contact, but you can actually sort of trace that, and I think from a marketer's point of view and somebody that is having to nurture clients along, I think that's also invaluable, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's that phrase front of mind again. So you know when we're you're being thought about, hopefully positively, and therefore right, maybe now I'm going to give them a quick call, and not necessarily. Oh, I see you've been looking at our report again, but have you thought about bringing your property to market or any other questions since the appraisal? And yeah, we actually hear a lot that. Um, Quite often there will be a flurry of activity around the interactor reports post the MA, and then things might go very quiet. The agent might feel like they're being ghosted a bit. Could be 2, 3 months later, all of a sudden, yeah, the link starts being pinged again, and they right, okay, maybe now have they made the decision, or life events happen, or they found something they want to buy. So maybe now, yeah, it's a great way of understanding that the behaviour, and right, I'm going to get back in touch at the right
So
time.
help us to understand, I think, the key changes then in the interactive reports, because to me there's a lot going on. It seems very
Mm.
simple. It seems like you're adding almost like AI powered efficiencies to the report, but it's a bit more than that because you're taking a report that already, as we said, has great utility, both from a sort of prospecting point of view and also brand awareness and just that sort of building that knowledge piece for the agent, making them seem that, true experts on the actual
Mm.
area and also the actual property when they go into a house. But this takes it one step further and can also generate income and help you build a referral network as well at the same time, which I think is so overlooked in
Mm.
agency.
Mm.
That yes, selling and letting houses is what we do to kind of keep the bread and butter on the table. But I
Yeah, yeah.
think everything else that adds to our bottom line can actually be a very lucrative income source, and we should never discount it because it's almost like a that method of referral is always a two-way street. It goes both
Mm.
ways, and it helps to sort of build a little business community around you, where yes, you're able to earn almost
Yes, right.
passively off these
Yeah,
things. So
yeah.
maybe explain it for somebody that hasn't seen it in action.
Yeah, so I think if we go, it all comes, it all stems back to the original, the reason why of Sprift. So when when Sprift started, nobody was pulling together property-specific data, comparables, pushing it into a report that could help, or push it into a dashboard, and then from the dashboard build client reports that ultimately save time, help you win business, differentiate your business. Yeah, there are clear benefits up front, but the reason the reason why of Sprift was actually that if you could present more information up front, which obviously now that's become very topical and trendy, upfront material
Yeah,
information. But back then, yeah, it wasn't being spoken about as much as it is now. But if you could present that up front, could you reduce transaction times? Could you reduce fall through rates? And ultimately, could you help the vendor achieve a higher percentage of asking price? Um, and those were kind of the three questions we were asking, and we put together an MVP product and went out to industry and said, look, we've done this because we think this. What do you think? Unfortunately, we got a deluge of feedback, not all of it positive, and some people, oh, of course, don't want to do anything with that, or I wouldn't want to be as transparent as that with information. But fortunately, the majority of the people we spoke to thought, yeah, there's something in this, and helped us refine the product. And whilst our initial route to market was very clearly estate agents, because they're the first property professional really through the door when a transaction's likely to come together, um, it's always been important that Sprift becomes that single source of truth. So all parties to a transaction at outset can go, is that what you think you're buying? Is that what you think you're selling? Is that what you're going to be doing the legal work on? Is that what you're going to be valuing? Is that what you're arranging finance
yeah,
on, etc., etc. Um, so, um, so obviously, Sprift, as we've evolved and the products evolved, the platforms evolved, estate agencies is our big core market, but we've now got lots of mortgage brokers using the platform, surveyors and conveyancers. So as we've been working with the all those the other sectors of the market, we've been learning, what actual information do they want, what would they want to see in their reports, and of course, then you start to we find ourselves at the crossroads or at the sort of the eye of the storm, if you like, where actually the estate agents want to use it to introduce their preferred partners, and we've had a lot of conveyancers using our reports to as a way to almost to sort of attract estate agents or win business, win that referral from the estate agent. So I thought, well, actually, what we really need to do then is, because it's key to our key to the Sprift DNA that all eyes need to be on this information up front. That then let's actually provide a place in our reports where all these referral partners can sit. Of course, it's also at a time where a lot of the feedback has been that, certainly with agents, that with everything else they're trying to handle, spending time concentrating on making the referrals, or just even asking the question, do you have a mortgage advisor? Who are you thinking of using for your legals on this? If they're time starved, those are conversations that sometimes don't always happen, or when they do, quite often they'll be quite late in the process. So, again, what we're trying to do here, and what we've recognised is if we look at agency income, house prices aren't particularly on the move at the moment. Neither are the fees being charged, but we all know that expenses to the business, be it rates, other subscriptions, salaries, employer national insurance, that's all on the rise. So profitability is being squeezed. So if we can actually really drive more referral income back into the agency, then it ultimately can help maintain profit levels or profit margins. So that's where it's helping from an overall transaction point of view by making sure that all eyes are on the report and the key information up front, but also, yes, it's ensuring that agents get as much of the referral income as they can. I mean, that's just one of the things we put into this interactive report. But yeah, that's the
And
big reason.
as I understand it, the agents can choose who to refer in there, so that it's not forced upon them. It's not you
No,
telling
no.
them you must use this list of people. They can actually sort of use it to almost mimic their real life. I mean, it should do,
Yeah,
shouldn't it?
yeah, yeah,
Their
exactly.
real life support network in terms of who they get their business from.
Yeah, it's chicken or beef. So certain agents will go, yeah, I've got a partner for that, that, and that. So great, they go in there, and and we stress a lot that literally that referral, that lead, if you like, will only go to the whoever they state,
Yep.
and it doesn't go out to some kind of open marketplace. And it's very tightly controlled. But if they haven't got a referral partner or preferred partner, then we've got a network of businesses that are very keen to take the referral and pay handsomely for it.
Okay,
So yeah, so
excellent. That makes, I think, makes like life a lot easier. So
Mm,
going back to the other features of the report, um, one of them that I think is quite it almost feels like a no-brainer. It really is how we communicate with our clients. So many of us these days use WhatsApp for personal and business messaging.
mm,
You've built that integration almost sort of straight into the reports there, that if
mm.
they want to get in touch with you, the client has got this option of almost just clicking on it and straight into your DMs, as it were.
Yeah.
Um, that's really sort of quick route to
Mm.
sort of cutting through all the noise. Some people they debate whether to pick up the phone, whether to ask a question, but if it's a matter
Yeah.
of being able just to sort of write a few quick lines, yeah, I'm up for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how's that working?
Yeah, it was really well. I remember reading the story about 10 years ago about why Facebook, because at the time there was Facebook Messenger, and but then Facebook went and bought WhatsApp, and very much because they saw a future where if you were, and I think the example at the time was, you'd have a WhatsApp conversation, ongoing WhatsApp conversation with IKEA or John Lewis or something like that, and it's like, so, oh yeah, we ordered those plates. Oh yeah, actually, can we get some more of those plates? We might have purchased these plates a couple of years ago, but actually
Yeah,
just got this ongoing thread with your preferred retailers, if you like, and for quite some time we've been looking at, right, well, when is that actually going to happen? When is WhatsApp just going to become almost the de facto way that people communicate with retailers, suppliers in the UK? And we spend quite a lot of time in our sort of product appraisal and product study at Sprift, not just looking at the UK market because it can become quite sort of just insular, and going and looking elsewhere. And there's lots of other regions where that have already they've fully switched over to WhatsApp, and WhatsApp's just embedded in everybody's websites, and you just expect to do everything really through WhatsApp. So we took a poll of clients, and I thought we were going to find less businesses had switched on and were using WhatsApp than we found. So we actually found a lot more agents using WhatsApp for Business. So I thought, well, let's put it straight into the reports, because through our previous reports, they could message the agent and it would, open up an email feed. But now being able to have that ongoing conversation with the agent through WhatsApp, that's yeah, the stats on it already it's getting a lot of use. And obviously they can say, okay, well, what about this property? Or I'm looking at this page. Tell me more about this.
Yeah.
So it's just really building that engagement in a way that really the consumer wants to engage these days.
I think that's such a key part of business, any business, but particularly estate agency, is to
Mm.
give the client the option. We can't be prescriptive on how they interact with us. If we
Yeah.
say we only want your phone calls or we only want emails or you can't afford to do that because I think
Mm.
that that's part of this kind of digital autonomy that we've all got is
It's
that
just
we
yeah,
get to
yeah.
choose how we communicate and what suits us better. Some people like to hide behind a keyboard. Some people like to
Yes.
get on the phone.
Yeah.
Some people find it much easier to interact on WhatsApp. And I think, sometimes as agents, we need to sort of think about how we contact people because calling people during the day when they're at work is not a comfortable conversation to have with somebody.
Yeah, yeah, great point.
But
Yeah.
then being able to sort of sneak off to sort of send you a few WhatsApps to arrange a valuation or a viewing or to ask you a question, that's totally doable. So I think we
Mm.
just need to be more open to that. And I think when
Yeah.
agents do give the client a choice,
Mm.
I think that's when they really win. So I think this works perfectly
Yeah, yeah.
with that. Um,
Yeah, I think it's as you said at the start, it's a no-brainer. And yeah, give the people what they want.
it's a massive win, massive win. So in terms of the reports, I mean, we spoke about this right at the top of our discussion. Um, you've always been known for great data, great looking reports as well. So the format of them are easy to digest. You don't need to be a property expert necessarily to understand
Mm.
what's in there. It's sort of an everyman's report or every woman's report to a property in general, and I think there's just so many different ways that they can be used. And obviously, data. We're living in that golden age of data at the moment, where we have now more and more data points than ever
We
before. I
do.
think all
Yeah.
your reports are based on 300 plus points at any one time. There's a lot going on behind the scenes there, um, and the perfect marriage for data was always going to be AI
Mm.
in terms of how that could help us to analyze that data, utilize that data. Explain how you've used AI in these reports.
Yes. So as you say, yeah, we AI has not passed us here at Swift. So firstly, we the sheer volume of data we are now handling, ingesting, cleaning, and ultimately a lot of kind of what goes on behind the scenes at Sprift, if you like, is translating all these different data sets. And I think we pulled data in from about 1,200 different sources. Um, and obviously, we've got to translate all of that down to present this clear picture at individual property level. So, the first application actually for AI we use is just around how we're ingesting these huge volumes of data and bringing real accuracy to making sure that okay, well, yeah, we're interpreting the data right and I suppose appending it to the right property. So that's really helped and means that now we can handle more and more data. That said, we have a sort of a so what test at Spriff. So just because we can get this data and we can present it, it's kind of like so what? Are
I,
people really going to
I,
want
I
want
like
to
that.
know?
The so what
Uh,
test. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so and we're obviously mindful that we've got two different audiences. So the platform itself, agents will log in there, or the property professionals now will log in, and we have to talk to them as a property professional and present the data in a way that they've got the expertise, knowledge. But then when that's distilled down to the client reports, it's obviously got to speak to a consumer who yeah, as you said there, it's got to speak to the every man or woman. AI really helps with that to pull out. Firstly, it pulls out right. Okay, look, what are the unique selling points about this property? So and it can get really, really quite granular, which is helping the agents as well. Not only say, okay, well, you know, it helps them win the instruction because it can say, look, here's actually all the stuff I've considered around how I think we should market your property. So it spits that out. But it can also help if there is a anything that's maybe disadvantage or a blight to the property. Right, how are we going to handle that? And so AI at speed can just cut through all of that, present everything, and then it's almost helping with the pre-closing of the client to why they're going to use that agent because it's sort of saying, well, look, yeah, here's everything we really need to be talking about how we're going to be marketing your property, and then by going through that, you're already having a conversation about, well, we're going to market it there. Here's where we're going to list it. Any other marketing assets required. So yeah, it's helping in that respect, and then. What it will also allow then whoever's looking at the report, because the reports aren't just for on the market appraisal for the seller. There's buyer reports, landlord tenant reports. Is obviously then being able those guys then being able to engage with the AI, ask questions about the property market, with guardrails. So, well, Craig, who's our chief innovation officer, said, "Yeah, we don't want the AI to be answering questions like was Alex Ferguson the best ever football manager?" And it's got to be relevant for property.
It's evident that he was, but that's fine. It's fine.
There we
I
go.
think we're really feeling that at United now that he's
Yeah,
gone.
exactly. There you
Um,
go.
but no, I see that. I think there does need to be some guardrails when it comes to AI
Yes.
because
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it can have moments of its own, can't it, really? And I think we have to
Absolutely.
be
Can, yeah.
selective on how we
Yeah.
deploy it
Yeah.
and how far we let it go.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately all of that AI and anything that any technology that we use has to make room for the agent's personal touch to come through as well, because
Exactly.
it's a people business and it
Yeah.
needs to remain that way. We should be
Yeah.
quite protective of that, I think, probably.
I think so. I think where AI helps me most in my day job is it's the first draft of something. I always find the first draft of something is the hardest. So AI has given me that first draft. Um, and obviously it's actually got well, be it our data or whatever you're using it for. Just by giving you that first draft, then I can go in, I can mattify it. Brilliant, great. Okay, well that's what that's it's saved me so much time by giving me that first draft. So exactly the way the AI is served up in our report generator, report builder is right. Here's what the AI comes up with, and of course then the agent can go in and go, yes, no, I want that. I can change that. But it's just saving the time to sit down and think, right, what is it I really want to be saying about this property? Or what are the unique selling points? What are the unique features around this property? Some of which, time-starved agents might not have even thought of. So, yeah, that whole co-pilot coming up with the first draft, that's exactly what it's doing at the moment. And yeah, we probably have got maybe the guardrails on it, maybe more extreme, and that can be relaxed over a period of time. But it's better to be safe than sorry at this time. But certainly, yeah, it's for the agent to then finesse and personalize more.
Oh, fantastic. So, I mean, it seems to be like there's a host of different features over here. And you can sort of take anybody that hasn't seen a Spriff report in action, book a demo with these people. They understand what they're doing. They'll take you through the system, show you how it can be used just to support you in terms of your own knowledge and prepared being prepared to go into people's houses and talk from a position of strength. Um, but it's also going to sort of help you to win instructions. It can also be utilized as a prospecting tool. And it's a great long-term nurture tool as well. That you can keep refreshing, so you can keep sending people updates on their property and what might have happened in their local area. And it's a lovely way to sort of keep in touch with clients over time and prospect gently without sort of being too buy it now, instruct me now, which tends to
Yeah.
drive people away rather than to the business.
Mhm.
So what's next for Spriff then, Matt? What does the road look like?
I think well. again, staying true to our uh, original reason why we've been parts of lots of different groups that have been petitioning government around data standards, um, and what information needs to be provided by whom and when. And so it's great to see this current consultation by the government. The way, it looks like, and we were in uh, consulting a meeting last week with the MHCLG, so we got a really good steer on how government are looking at standardising property information, and bringing much more of it up front, so that ultimately property transactions be far quicker, less fall throughs, all the stuff kind of, we've been hearing about over the years.
Yeah.
But actually now I think we're at a point where a lot of this is going to be mandated by government. And our big thing is, well, clearly we're ready for that. Clearly we've been pulling together the data and presenting it up front and sort of banging the drum for that cause for quite some time. But at the same time, we're not repeating the mistakes of HIPs in the past, where it ultimately becomes a blocker for anybody wanting to bring their house to market. So we're primed and ready, and ultimately just there ready to support the agent in what that's going to look like. We've got, yeah, we feel we've got a good finger on the pulse there, and our platform, and in fact, actually, where we've taken the direction of these reports is quite deliberate as well around what is going to need to be presented. So we have put more data into the report, certainly a lot more mapping, geospatial data's in there. So yeah, so that's kind of I suppose, yeah, the core direction here is that not looking to reinvent the wheel, no massive change of direction, but just staying true to kind of why the business was founded in the first place, really.
Fantastic, fantastic. Looking forward to see how things evolve. We're in that sort of very fast-paced environment at the moment where technology
Hmm.
is growing at a rate of knots, and so no doubt
Yeah.
there will be other iterations and new additions, and we look forward to talking to you about it then. But until then, thank you very much for your time.
No, thank you, David. Thank you.